Hello and welcome to the newest Cavern Devlog. Most of the stuff I've been working on for the past 3 months has been utterly boring. It is very necessary when you want to complete your game to do a lot of boring stuff. So here's the rundown. My last Cavern devlog was about level editor. The next step was to actually import the levels I was making into the actual level in the game. Allow them to be randomly generated within the noise. On the list of boring things I needed to do to make that work were some saving and loading things, as well as some just general maintenance to my original code. I had a problem that when I would rescale the room, it would shift everything around, and it was because the order in which I was, storing the tile data. So I found a way to shift it all around in a better way, but it took me probably a couple days to a week. So now I finally have the ability to save a level and then load it into the game, and I can even mark certain types, so certain areas of the game will get certain level patterns. I can do all that editing stuff from within the game, which is pretty cool. I had also implemented a couple of the lock systems before, but I hadn't implemented the curse lock, so I took a stab at that, making it spawn a couple enemies that are cursed that, when killed, unlock the curse chest. I've also gotten to work on the script for the game, so I have planned a number of cutscenes, and I've started work on scene 1 and 2. I'm hoping to put scene 1 in a demo of the game, probably in the demo for the next fest, which I keep pushing back because I keep adding things to the game. I'm okay with pushing it back just to do things right. That being said, I'm working towards getting that minimum viable product. Everything that I've been doing lately is focused on getting a complete game loop, so I'll talk about that in a minute as well. I also made a new song for the game that I think might be the main theme, but we'll see. But that's what you're listening to in the background of this video. And I think with the script and the music coming together, it really gives me a good understanding of the atmosphere that I can create going forward, whether it's code or art or music or script or design. All of these things play a significant role in the final game, so it's important to develop those things together or alongside each other. Some more boring stuff I did was saving. I needed to save the game state so that people can save their game, exit, pause, come back and in the future and keep playing. And it saves everything about every object, whether it's status effects, if the object is cursed, like for those cursed chests, how much health you have, where you are in the world, among other things. To save the map, I did something that was pretty cool, which is I just regenerate it based on the seed. And so I don't have to save any of the map data, like where certain walls are or things like that. It's all generated from the seed, which saves a bit of space in the save file. For the map generation, because I'm using the seed to reload stuff, I had a lot of fun trying to figure out when the random generator state would change. It was kind of fun debugging it because I was like a detective trying to figure out, oh, well, this part is slightly off. I know that this part would generate during this step, and it's shifted, down a couple grid slots, or it's missing an item, or slightly different visually. So sleuthing that out was pretty interesting. Some unique saving things that I had to tackle were extra effects. So each object has effects that trigger at certain times. You can refer to this video if you want to see more about that kind of system. And so I wanted to be able to add effects to objects, which means I needed to save effect types. So I made a new upgrade called the vamp maw, which is this set of vampire teeth. Every time you fire a bullet, you have a 10% chance to heal for the damage dealt. So if you have damage modifiers, you can get a big heal. The two other large aspects that I needed to save were the upgrades that the player has and the anomalies that the enemies get. Which enemies get which effects, and then additionally the upgrades can be saved just by type, and I can just give the player those upgrades when I load the game. More boring managerial stuff consists of settings in the menu, so toggling full screen, saving and loading, preferences for sound settings that actually affect the music and sound effects in the game, being able to quit the game, save and exit, being able to exit the application, being able to die and reset to the beginning, those kinds of things. All of those things are intended to help with that minimum viable product, so making the game playable, but also from a sort of meta perspective, usable. And then I've been trying to weave in a couple of, quality of life things / fun things for me. So I've been working on equipping and pickup. There are 2 different buttons for equipping and pickup, so characters that can equip or pick up things can choose. Additionally, I changed the pickup logic to actually have the objects describe what kind of pickup they are. So if it's a consumable, if it's a pickup object, or an equipable object, or just a normal interact object, let the object trying to pick it up know those things. And for the player, it will display which button you need to use to do which interaction. This is important because it allows enemies to make more educated decisions on what they pick up. They can have different priorities, saying, I would never put a torch on my back if I could put it in my hand, because a torch is a better weapon than something to carry around. And there will be plenty of different items in the game to make use of this interaction. So that was just kind of a quality of life thing that needed to be done. And to go along with that, I made some new UI, and this kind of, harkens back, harken, the mind beckons. Building out that music, that script, that atmosphere, those are really important to the core vision of a game, and it needs to be fun, which is what playtesting and design and all these things are for. But that atmosphere can contribute a lot to the experience of how you feel when you play the game. That's something that I personally have struggled with, is creating that atmosphere that has a lot of depth and meaning. And so I've struggled with making the games fun too, for sure, but I would say my games definitely, as they stand, are more fun than atmosphere. So anywho, thanks for tuning in to the devlogs. Trying to do more of these casual devlogs as I have more time to work on the game. Lastly, I wanted to, let's see, the game is currently at 380, so I think the last devlog 3 months ago was 213. Again, I really think these kind of numbers are slow rolling until I put out a demo, until I can actually, show people the game, until I update the Steam page, until I can kind of get all these things rolling. My goal for the next couple months will be putting out that closed beta alpha demo. If you're interested, join the Discord. You should wish list. You should wish list it on Steam if you're interested. No pressure. Thank you very much for watching. Wow.